My name is Kholah Dar. I am the podcast host, SIRM MicDrop.
I'm very excited today because today we have our guest, Professor Charlotte Fletcher-Morgan. So we're welcoming her as a principal at SIRM as well. This is her first visit to the Leicester campus, so we're very excited, and we're welcoming her with a lot of love and a lot of joy, and making sure that she's comfortable and happy. And that is why we said, please do a podcast for us, and she was kind enough to say yes. So we're very happy about that. I'm going to talk a little about her and then introduce you to her, so that obviously she's a visionary leader and decades of experience in widening participation, student engagement, and I'm going to tell you a little about her, more about her, tangible, meaty stuff. She comes with a lot of higher education experience. She's a thought leader with a career spanning over 2 decades, specializing in widening participation, student engagement, inclusive academic practice. She brings to SIRM a strong commitment to social justice, equity, and academic. And this is the part I love about her, is that she holds a first class MBA honours in sociology, social policy, MA in social research with distinction both from University of Leeds. She went on to achieve a master's in academic practice, was conferred as a professor of professional practice in 2022. And our favorite part, she was appointed as a principal at SIRM in 2025. How are you, Miss Fletcher-Morgan?
Thank you, Kholah, for that amazing introduction.
Yeah, well, how are you? Are you feeling excited about joining SIRM?
Very excited. I mean, yeah, I started on Monday, so I've seen the Ilford campus, and yeah, today I'm absolutely blown away by the facilities you've got here. Really, really amazing. So congratulations, you've done a fantastic job. It just feels very innovative, very light, very bright, and it just feels like a fantastic space to be in. So I'm very excited to be here, and I'm feeling very full because you've had amazing hospitality.
We make sure.
I've never eaten so much in my life, so thank you.
We make sure we make sure we stuff people so they're like all happy and joyous. Well, today's podcast is majorly going to be about your vision, about you, and the fact that we want to thank you for accepting to be the principal. And just tell us a little about your journey. What brings you here and how you got here? Just tell us a little about your journey.
So my journey in education really was rooted in my social sciences background. So the sociology, the social policy, and then I went on to do social public and research at a master's. And then my first job was actually with the National Foundation for Educational Research. And that gave me a really good understanding of how impactful education was, but also how not everybody has access to education.
Yes.
And minoritised groups don't have access.
Yes.
And I work very closely with young people in care, asylum seekers and young offenders. And so I had a number of years doing direct research with these minoritised groups, but some of them had absolutely amazing stories in terms of how it was transformational in terms of what they did, and then the impact not only on them, but their wider family and their wider community. So for me, I started off in research in education, and then I started off as an educator myself, having worked directly with young offenders and in practice. I did that for a number of years, but again, my focus there was those young offenders who'd actually been either excluded from the education system or had themselves dropped out. So my role there was very much about trying to get young people back into education. And again, it was never just working with the young person, it was working with the families and the communities around them.
A large impact.
Yeah, absolutely. So from then I went on to teach in youth justice, and then I've pretty much stayed in education ever since. So as you say, I feel awful now saying I've got decades of experience, but I do 25 years in higher education.
Well, by this time, that's the time when you've done all of that. You've got experience. You should be very proud of saying that is the experience, because generally when I'm sitting in meetings and I listen to people's journeys and everything, and I've been in education for 23 years, but somehow we sort of not say it enough ourselves. Sort of sounds really like pompous and you know.
Yeah.
Why would you say? But I think it's good too. Why? Because then again, you're influencing people around you, specifically staff and people who've come into education. So they're probably looking up to you as mentor or someone who, okay, look at her journey. This is something I could be, you know. And so it's important to say that. So you know,
Yeah.
proudly, you know.
Just makes me feel old, Kholah.
No,
I still feel 16.
No, you do. You definitely don't look it. Definitely don't look it. So okay. So I mean, educational leadership. Why educational leadership?
I think that was a little bit through, not necessarily design. I don't think I ever came in to education and to universities to lead. I came in, as I said, to want to make a difference and to teach and directly work with students, whether or not that's older students or your traditional students, widening participation students. But that's why I came into education in the first place. And then I think if you're good at your job and you understand your job, then you are pushed forward for these different types of roles. And I did find myself in different types of leadership positions. But again, I think that was a different strength. And I think very much the fact that I've been in practice and the fact that I was a researcher and the fact that I had done a lot of community work, I understand people, I like working with people. And actually for me, a manager and in leadership, actually, it was a natural fit. And I think especially from my background, and as I said, if anybody spoke to me around what's been the one thing in your career, I would always say that golden thread in terms of widening participation and believing in people.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've read that a lot about you, and I've heard other people talk about you when they say that that's like a symbiotic thing. That's just you widening participation. That's what drives you, which is great. And I think SIRM has that widening participation angle and the passion and the drive.
Absolutely.
So you fit right in because that's what we want. We want someone to drive that forward. And I think the leadership's done an amazing job to sort of give us that kind of leader to sort of follow and have that vision. Because obviously you need that personal sort of touch and that person that you would again look up to and be looking at and saying that this will be taken forward, whatever our vision, our mission is. And the CEO is very, very, very gung-ho about it. So what would your leadership style be for us? What do you think in all that you've learned and all the experience, how do you think you're going to fit in, do what? What's your mantra right now?
The same as I've always done.
Yeah.
So whether or not it's working with young people, minoritized groups, I'm very much a people person. So for me, my leadership style is I'm very open. I want to be very transparent. I'll make hard decisions when I need to, but they're data driven, and I really do. So my door is always open. I can't wait to start working with the staff at SIRM. It's very much a family. That's the first thing that's hit me as I've come in. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, that what a fantastic place to be. And I've seen some of your stuff before when you talk around the fact that you spend so much of your life at work. It needs to be happy. It needs to be positive. It needs to be a pace to fry. So I can't wait to be part of that family. And as I said, it's honesty, compassion, and I lead by example. I would never ask somebody to do something that I wouldn't be willing to do myself.
I think when a new person joins in, the staff is everyone's always wondering what they're like, and especially at the top. So I think they'd be very happy to hear all of this because you want someone who's compassionate and kind, and someone that would lead, but also, like you said, wouldn't be able. You wouldn't ask someone to do something you won't do yourself. Not. And the right kind of value skill set. Now, my last question, because people will be watching and they want to know, before they met you, specifically the students and the staff and everyone, what is the one message you want to give?
Is this your last question?
They should be.
Should it?
We're letting you off early.
I could talk for hours.
I know. Now you see this. I tell you. Once you sit and start talking with me, it can take you places.
I would say, don't be afraid to try. Progress isn't linear. We can go forwards and then we might take 2 steps backwards. I really would say trust your gut. If you've got a gut instinct, I think I came here and immediately as I walked through the door, I thought, I belong here. And I think your students will feel that as well. When they come in, I always liken it to like if you go around a house and you might have a look at lots of different houses and as soon as you go in.
Exactly. That choice you make when you... And me and Lynn were talking earlier, the director of recruitment for Salford. There's an analogy she gave just for partnerships, which I thought was amazing. But usually I give that analogy and I stop myself from giving it because it's too much. She was like, it's like a blind date. We went out, you know, you're looking for a partner, and then you go there. It's like a blind date. You don't know what's going to happen. But when you get that feeling that this is going to work, and at the end of the day, you're spot on. It's just the gut feeling. It's just the intuition that tells you that this is the right place for you. So for the learners, if they feel that at SIRM, that's our message. And if for staff, if that's how they feel, like I always say, this is the people and the team that you're going to spend your wake hours with.
Exactly.
And you're going to spend your good day time in, you know, if it's not giving you joy, then there's something wrong. And it's not worth it. And I always say that is the time. Invest in this time, because you're actually spending time with people that are going to be training with you, fighting with you, crying with you, joy with you. The family with you is the same thing, or all together. It's like Lynn said, it's like a marriage, it's like a blind date. But thank you so much. And obviously this is not the last podcast that we're doing.
I can't wait to come back. Because
I got you all excited. Yay! That was the whole point. I'm telling you, there'll be plenty more, because obviously you'd spend more time with us, and then there'll be milestones that would be achieved, so we could talk about them, and we could talk about a new project or anything as well. And by that time, hopefully we would have built on the podcast as well. So I'm very thankful, I'm very grateful. And when I asked you, I was hoping you'd say yes. In my heart, I was going like this. I was like, I hope she says yes. I hope she says yes. Because I wanted to start with two very powerful women. For me, that means a lot. So I wanted to start with that. So thank you very much. And it was lovely meeting you, and good luck. And you have all our support. And I really, really, truly believe that we'll do wonderful things together.
I think so too. And thank you for such an amazing, warm welcome. Honestly, you couldn't have done better. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. We're done. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoy our podcast, SIRM MicDrop.